Hi, our guest today is Jennifer Demanche-Yohn, who's the president of the Milford Farmers Market.
Welcome.
Hi, thank you for having me.
When's the farmers market reopening this summer?
June 6th. June 6th to September 26th at the
And-
water company.
At the water company, at the same
Yep.
place it was last year.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes. We had to wait until last night to potentially move next year.
Okay, and last night was the night of the town meeting,
Yes.
even though this is airing later, but it's okay. But so for this year, you're at the water company, and next
Correct.
year you might be,
Hopefully at one of the schools, either Memorial School on Walnut Street or Stacy, preferably on Spruce Street, right across from the library. Those would be our two key places.
okay, let's talk about this year. Last year you had themed events every weekend. Are you having that this year?
Yes, we are.
And what are the first couple of themes?
Greenleaf Garden Company Club
Yes.
is coming out to do a demonstration and talk about their club the first weekend. The second weekend, we're still working out details, but over the entirety of the season, we're going to have two Milford Library, Friends of the Milford Library Book Club sales. The Greater Milford Community Chorus will come out 2 times. They're going to do some singing and do a membership drive and, you know, try to get people involved with that. I talked to a police officer just the other day. They're looking to come out and do a child seat safety demonstration, car check, and potentially give out some car seats to people who are in need of them. We have a lot of great things going on.
Okay, and do you know who the vendors are this year?
I know some of them. A lot of them were holding off, unfortunately, until last night. They were very nervous about committing to a full season with us until they knew how the town felt about them.
Unanimous vote in favor of the
Unanimous
zoning
vote.
amendment.
Yep. So I've gotten a lot of phone calls today.
Oh, that's been busy, huh?
Well, who are some of the people we have this summer?
Fairmount Farm will be back. They'll be
Okay.
back with all their fruits and vegetables as well as their eggs and their meats from Dom's. The Pumpkin Farm will be back. They are officially 100% certified organic this year, which is awesome. The Sweet Treats, it will be back. She'll have all her whoopie pies and her banana breads and all that good yummy stuff. There's, now my mind's blanking.
The knife
of
sharpener
course.
coming back?
No.
No.
He was a little upset with how he was described over the last couple of months, so he chose not to come back.
Okay.
Which is, it's okay. We're looking. He's not the only knife sharpener in the world, so we will hopefully find someone else to sharpen your knives, Kevin.
Okay. And so our usual array of everything ranging from
Yep.
fresh baked bread to freshly
be
grown and picked
Any dairy there?
vegetables.
No.
You talked about that last year,
Yeah.
but it didn't work out.
Well, the problem is that we were caught in a funny place where we had a couple people lined up, and then when everything started going on with the planning board and getting the bylaw passed and dairy was a no-no, everyone said, well, we're not going to come this year to not be allowed to come next year. So we're back to that point where like, well, you can come next year, so do you still want to come? So if we can work something out, we'd love to have them. But Oliva's is going to come with their bread. We have our co-op table coming around again, which is awesome for the little teeny tiny businesses and the high schoolers who have stuff to sell. It's going to be a really good year. So
Okay.
we're looking.
Food truck back?
Yes, they are as sporadic as ever, but they are wonderful. You can't beat a food truck that not only is feeding you, but they're feeding you food from the farmers that are at my market. That was the really awesome part
So
about it.
they actually come buy from those farmers and
Yeah.
then cook it?
Yeah, they come. I mean, everybody gets there 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning, and they deal with the farmers and they buy whatever they need for vegetables, and then they cook it up and serve it up. They had a white bean and corn and tomato salad that was phenomenal last year. I mean, that's the kind of stuff. It's really neat. It's not just a cheeseburger truck.
Oh,
Although
wow.
those are really good too.
All right, Roach Coach is one member of the planning board.
Yeah,
described it.
exactly.
That's a nice cliche phrase, roach coach. I mean,
Yeah,
they've called that for years.
yeah. It's not exactly what you want to hear about your business.
Well, no, but I mean,
Well,
But it's okay.
food trucks are in now across the country.
They are. That's
right.
why I was so surprised that we were so adamantly against them, because there's such a huge food truck movement. I mean,
well,
they're having,
they're slightly different than they used to be.
yeah,
They're
Yeah.
significantly different. Now they're a large truck that has stuff in
I don't know. When I lived in Providence, Rhode Island, for years, everybody knew Haven Brothers was down in front of City Hall
Yep.
from 11 o'clock or midnight to 6 a.m. And as a college student, we'd walk
yeah.
down College Hill and go to Haven Brothers
yeah.
in the
Wow.
middle of the night for food. And it was good food.
Yeah. I
Or
mean,
we were just college students that didn't know better.
Probably the
that.
second is probably not anything against that specific vendor, but probably didn't know any better.
Yeah, but there's a new movement. I mean, they have food truck gatherings now. I think
Oh, they have
there's one in
gourmet
Providence.
stuff in food.
Providence Flea on Sundays in the summer
Yeah, and
is a giant flea market. Nothing like your food market, but there are at least 4 or 5 food trucks every Sunday there. And I've gone down several times to sample the food, and it's very good.
Oh, they have. The food trucks have come a long way, relatively speaking. It used to be the roach coach was a good description. A guy would roll up, he'd open the 2 sides, and you'd get, tuna salad sandwiches or egg salad sandwiches.
now you can get lobster mac and cheese.
Right,
It's
I mean-
kind of there's a seafood truck from Boston. All they do is
Seafood.
and we're not talking big,
Right.
fish and chips. We're talking mussels and lobsters and
Good stuff.
yeah.
Let's go back to the farmer's market. What's the appeal of the farmer's market to people?
Well, I hope it's the fresh local stuff. But on top of that, it's also the community. I mean, that's what people were raving about last year, is they'd come, they bump into their neighbor while they were buying the stuff, and it's such a community-centric activity. And we've branched out a lot with a lot of other organizations. Like, we're trying to organize now to do pop-up markets to the areas of the population that we can't get to the market. So the elderly or the low income.
Okay, explain pop-up market.
Well, we're working out the details, but basically it would be a farmer and myself going to the elderly housing complexes and serving and saying, this is what we have, what do you need? Because they can't necessarily get there, and we can't get transportation for them, but we can get it to them. So it's, giving them access to fresh fruits and vegetables.
Now, is the hope, you've been in the town hall parking lot, and you've been down the water company for it'll be 2 years getting this summer.
Exactly, it worked out pretty well, all considered.
Is the hope by coming back to the center of town that business will be a little better? Not that it's been bad at Dilla Street.
Well, business will be better, and it will be more accessible, because
That's the key, accessibility.
it's accessibility. And I mean, Dilla Street worked out really well, but even with the walking trail right there, you're asking someone to trek a mile from here to there to get it, and then a mile back, or to have to drive a vehicle, because there are no sidewalks on Dilla Street. So if you bring it back to a central location where there are sidewalks and where people live and where people are driving,
Where people can walk,
yep,
have access. Because one of the things that we found out from Harold is we have transportation issues. So if we move it back to if you move it back to the center of town,
Exactly.
then people have access. Those people who don't have cars, those people that don't have easy access to vehicles or transportation will have
exactly.
access, which is a very good thing.
Yeah, and it's funny because when we were at Town Hall parking lot, you'd think that we would have that, but there's actually less accessibility to Town Hall than there is to the town park area, because there's very limited parking
Town hall.
at Town Hall, especially when you take the entire parking lot on one side.
Yeah,
And with the new traffic patterns, it's not really a quick and easy, I can pop in, pop out kind of thing. So hopefully bringing it back to the actual downtown area, what used to be the downtown area, it's going to bring everything all together, hike up business for the businesses or the vendors, and get more community involved. Especially since we're right across from the library. When anyone asks for us, we can say, we're right across from the library. And I don't know anybody who doesn't know, where's the library?
But of course, the library is closed in the summers.
Which is why it's perfect, because it doesn't add any traffic.
So you have the library parking lot for you to use.
but I mean,
Well, I mean, if you think on the other side where Memorial is, there's only parking on a portion of that street. And otherwise, you're going to have people parking on the little bitty streets in between.
Or park where the portable classrooms used to be.
Where the
that little
portable
lot.
right, and then they're crossing. So if you're on the other side on Spruce, you have parking on both sides. You have the library parking, you have the bus loop, you have this parking lot behind Stacy. You're not adding any additional traffic because the traffic that was there for the library the other 7 months out of the year is just coming back.
Right.
So it seems optimal. Now, obviously, the school committee has to agree, our superintendent has to agree, the principal has to agree, and every other board in the town has to agree, so hopefully.
That's the next step.
That is the next step. And we will start that, I believe, in 45 days.
Well, you need the school committee, you need the school committee, the superintendent, principal works for the superintendent, so if the superintendent's behind it. You have the planning board,
For the site plan
site plan.
and
then
the
you have-
special permit.
And the
and then,
special
well,
permit.
then you have to have the Board of Health too, has to issue food permit.
Well, they don't issue one for the market. They issue one per vendor.
Right.
The Board of Health has been phenomenal in working with us. They're great. They've worked with us, and we've tweaked things. Superintendent Tremblay was phenomenal when I talked to him prior to all of this, so I'm hoping that
Well, I don't
will
think that'll
continue.
change.
No, especially since we're now working with another group to try to get a community garden into Milford that, could partner with that program that they're having at the high school. So, hopefully we can tie it all in together, and it won't just be, it's always going to be a farmer's market, but our goal is to be a farmer's market, making sure that our community as a whole is getting
More inclusive.
more inclusive. And
We've got a couple of minutes left. Let's talk about the community garden.
I love my community garden.
Where, any locations yet?
No. But we do have a pretty significant offer of if we can find the land, it will be done. There's the funding, there's the staffing, there are the legal.
And explain a community garden. Anybody can plant there, or people plant and you use it to feed the community? Which one is it?
We don't use it to feed the community, but everybody has a plot of their own that they can garden. There are a couple different models. There's that model, then there's also the model where a farmer grows everything and
then
you
you
can
get a share.
buy your own share. So it can go both ways, or it can be a mix of the two, depending upon the size of the plot that you can find.
So how many acres are you looking for?
We need at least one, which we can do. There's got to be a way to do it.
Okay.
1 acre.
Of
Yep.
farmland in Milford.
Well, it doesn't have to be farmland.
Well, what you can do is bring in topsoil, you can create something.
You can
that-
create it very easily, as
Well,
long
not
as it's
easily.
relatively cleared, or, but we have plenty of land. It's just whether or not we can.
Find somebody to let you use it.
Exactly.
Surprise, surprise.
I'm not easily dissuaded from a project, so.
Having watched you shepherd this zoning bylaw amendment through the planning board, I can see that you're not.
No, but I'm afraid Larry might be a little, I'm giving Larry another project, so I'm sorry, Larry.
That's Larry Duncan, the
Poor
town
Larry.
planner.
Poor Mr. Duncan. So, but
Well,
I'm
that's
hopeful.
That's not a bad thing, it's a good thing, and I think the community will benefit at a tremendous amount by having a community garden.
Yeah, and that's the goal. Above and beyond making sure that you get your fresh local stuff and you meet your local vendors and farmers and small businesses, it's about community. So whatever we can do to better our community that is tied into that farming wise or small business wise, we'll do.
Okay.
Well, we've lost that tactile feel in the community, the touch and feel of what it means to grow your own
Little bit.
vegetables or whatever. We've lost that. To
We'll
bring
get
that
it back.
It's good.
Well, modern zoning's kind of kicked that out.
Yes.
All the bread and milk stores that were in the neighborhoods are gone, so you can't walk down.
Well, there are people now, and I joke about this, that think chicken is wrapped in plastic, and milk comes in plastic bottles.
Well, it does.
That's where it comes from.
Yeah, it's just not where it comes from.
Right.
That's what it comes in. It's not where it comes
From.
from.
Yeah,
There's that key difference.
yeah, really. You mean this came from a cow? Oh my goodness.
Well, you are a Midwestern farmer,
Oh, that's true.
so.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. I understand where it comes from.
Okay. Let's just recap because we're out of time.
Love to
The
recap.
farmer's market starts
June 6th.
every Saturday from,
June 6th to September 26th, rain
Or
or
shine.
shine.
okay, what times?
9 a.m. to 1 p.m.
At the Milford Water Company
Milford Water Company.
on Dilla Street. Jen, thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me.
And I'm glad you're awake after the lengthy, lengthy town meeting last night.
Yes, let's hope for a short one next time.
Nah, never happened. Never happened.
Okay, we'll see you again to talk about the,
I hope to see you again. And you better be down there this year. Again.
Ooh.
again.
Again, I said put again. He was there. Buying.
I love buying the food there because I can buy it in the sizes where you go to a supermarket, you got to buy something shrink wrapped. I run out of it, or it rots before I eat it. Or
Oh, I saw some
I can buy my
tricks.
onesie twosies.
I saw tricks in like celery, how to keep celery fresh. You put a paper towel, wrap it in a paper towel, and put it in a plastic bag and seal it, and it'll stay fresh for a couple weeks.
Fantastic.
I saw some trick stuff.
Same thing with lettuce.
Yeah, lettuce. And then eggs. Eggs will pick up the flavor of the smell of food that's in your refrigerator. So what you do is you cover them in mineral oil, and then they won't assume that, and they last longer.
Al, you're a man of many
I was going to
talents.
say, look at all the things we learned right there.
Trivia. Apples you can wrap in paper, wrap in newspaper, put in a cool place. They'll last longer.
Paper bag.
Yep.
In your basement.
I did that one time when I lived in California, and I had a Labrador. And the dog took a bite out of every apple. It was funny. We had these apples all over the living room and the family room.
Jen, you want to get him down some Saturday to give his food preservation tips?
Sure, I'd love to. You can come and pontificate on it.
Pontificate. I haven't heard-
People love to pontificate.
Oh, I can be very good at it.
I can too. I just have to be in the right company to do it.
On that note, we are out of time, and we'll get you back another time.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Jen.
Thanks.
Hi, our guest is Sidney DeJesus from the Milford Youth Center. Hey, Sid, how are you?
Welcome.
I'm doing good. How are you
Good.
guys?
Good. Can't complain.
Good. So we're interested in both what the youth center is doing this summer in your temporary location, and also if you can update us on the progress of construction.
All right. Well, we're having a summer camp for the summer. It's a 4-week program, Monday through Friday, and we're only accepting 20 kids.
Wow.
Reason being,
Smaller
the
building.
location is quite tight, and we want to make sure that everybody's comfortable in the building when they're inside.
Well, that's good. That's good.
You used to do what, about 40?
About 65.
Wow.
So we're cutting down a lot, but
Just for 1 year.
I think for the safety of the kids and the
That's a
staff,
good decision.
I
Absolutely.
think it makes sense to
Okay.
just host 20 this year.
What kind of things do they do at this summer camp?
You know, we're going to do a lot of the same things we did in the past. Not much will change. The activities, the field trips, and all that. It's on our website, milfordyouthcenter.net.
Okay.
So what are some of the things you do?
Well, we do Canopy Lake Park. We'll do pins. We'll do the Hopkinton State Park. We'll do, Fridays will be a beach day. Tuesdays we go on field trips. And then the rest of the days we're in town.
Okay. And it runs from what time to what time?
It runs from 8 to 4, extended day. Will be, an extra fee, $10 fee.
Cool. Cool.
Okay. And this is just temporary while you're located on Congress Street.
This is temporary. Hopefully, if we cross our fingers and everything stays on target, we should be back in October.
How's the Congress Street location been working out?
We're like chameleons. We'll adapt to whatever.
It's tight, I noticed.
It's very tight.
Driving
It's
by.
very tight. It's a good thing. The weather's coming in. We do have a big lot on the side.
Yeah, I
that
saw the
allows us
basketball
to
courts
put
out there.
Yeah.
Yep.
We got the basketball courts, 4 squares. So the infrastructure of the programs stays the same, and we're just, hosting smaller numbers now due to the location that we're
Okay,
in.
and so how's the Armory building looking right now?
The Armory is looking pretty good. Like I said, we're on target. It's a big change for me since I've been there, for so long that to actually see it gutted out and these new things going into place.
But it's exciting, huh?
It's very exciting, very exciting. It's right
I
now.
mean, visibly you drive by, you can see the scaffolding on for the roof work and the granite, repointing of the granite face.
Yeah,
What's it look like inside?
inside, like I said, if you go to our website, you can see some of the pictures that we put up.
Oh, okay.
But the inside, let's say the main house is completely gutted out. We have an elevator in there. Like I said, it's just an amazing.
Fantastic,
Yeah.
The last time I went in, they were still building the drainage tunnels in the basement. Everything was gone on the
Yep.
inside.
The whole basement, that area is completely done with the gutting. The drains are all in, the pumps are all in.
Wow.
The bathrooms are in process right now as we speak. And like you said, the repointing of the building is
Wow.
it's on a roll.
So all the stuff upstairs, all the build out and everything, the rooms will all be squared away soon, and it's just going to be exciting, huh?
Yeah, it's going to be very exciting to actually see it done. Now that I've seen, step for step on the progress of the youth center, I think seeing it finished is going to be quite an amazing experience.
And in the various finance committee meetings this year, they've made no bones about saying that they're going to begin, when the new building's open, you're going to get treated like an official town department.
I can't wait for that.
Well, they're already picking up your utilities, but I mean,
Yeah, they've been very good about supporting us.
your salary was being paid, but now your assistant Jen Ward's salary is going to be picked up by the town.
We're hoping it's going to get picked up in October.
Yep, when the
Um,
building opens.
Yes, and that's gonna, it's gonna take a lot of weight off our backs and allow us to hire more staff to cover the ratio of kids.
Get a building custodian to keep the new building good.
Yes,
Yeah, I would hope so.
yeah.
So
That was passed yesterday in the
Yep.
town meeting, and
Well, that's critical. I mean, if you're going to invest in a building, you want to invest in the facility, you invest in supporting that facility.
that's right.
Clean it
And
up.
having the custodian is it's a big plus for us because it frees a lot of my time that I was
Doing that stuff.
siphoning water out of that basement.
right. So now while you're running the smaller center, you're getting ready to move back to the big one. Are you also planning for the activities to go on in the big one?
We have a lot of the activities in place. We're just waiting to just get back to the excitement, and and the kids are very anxious.
I'm sure they are.
They're just they're trying to get more and more information from us when they can go in and check out the building. But like I said, we're moving along. We're moving along.
Have you seen a
Looks
drop
good.
off in attendance? And
We have seen a drop off in attendance. Right now we're seeing maybe 25 to 45 kids when our numbers around, let's say the colder months were more in the 85s and close to the 100 numbers. But like I said, we're in a smaller, tight location right now, and, kids are still coming. And the
That's
kids,
good.
Kids
That's
know
good.
we're there, and, we're still providing all the activities and all the extra, help for homework, and then the tutors come in and they utilize the little space that we have.
oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. As a result of the new facility, are there any activities that you're going to add on as a result of the new?
Yeah, we will be adding on a lot of activities. It's a safer place. The gymnasium's going to be fully done. There's not going to be waves on the floor. There was always a chance. We've been very lucky that
Nobody
nobody's
got
got hurt. Cross our fingers, knock on wood, however you want to say it. Going into the new building, we'll be hosting a lot more newer programs.
Any specifically that you can think of that you're going to add?
Well, we're going to add back on the nutrition program. We haven't done that in a while. We're going to, obviously, the boxing and all the extra activities that we ran in the past are always going to be there. The batting cages, we have some golf training
Oh,
that
wow.
we're going to put in place. Those things we have now. Thank you to Ozzy Rodriguez. He donated 3, of those golf trainers. We got tricks up our sleeve.
All right. So there's a lot of things that people can look forward to, some new stuff.
Absolutely.
Oh,
and,
that's great.
And the doors are going to be open for the seniors to come in and walk, and we have some training equipment that Midtown Racquetball Club gave us, and that's targeted more for seniors and youth. So, we'll be opening up a program for seniors to also be able to, utilize the youth center
Wow, so
during
you're
the
gonna,
morning time.
so the youth center will be open up to more than just the youth?
Oh, absolutely. It's
Oh,
for the
wow.
community. It's a community thing.
Community, so it becomes more of a community center then?
Yes.
That's great. That's a good thing. That's a good
And I
thing.
think, you know, it's there. I think everybody should be able to use it.
Absolutely. And it's just, it's, all the pictures have been, you know, you're just excited about it. I mean,
Yes.
wow,
Yes.
wow.
I just, it seems like it's going so fast. It's already been, has it been a year since the funding was passed?
Yeah, it's a year, actually, today.
And,
It's a year today.
That's right.
and the construction's going really well. I just wonder though, from your normal participation, did you lose a lot of kids when you moved to the smaller building? Or is it just you're losing them now that it's warmer weather?
It's a little bit of both. The weather always, you know, it always helps to bring more kids in because, you know, now the outside is closed off with the snow, especially, well, you know, the year that we've had. The numbers, you know, they go up and down like a roller coaster. But like I said, once we go back into the 24 Post relocation, it's a no-brainer. Kids will be coming right back to the numbers that it used to be.
Well, it's a big facility, so
Yeah, we can host a lot more.
hosts a lot more, and you know, it gives kids a chance to be with a smaller group and not be, you know, everybody together.
Right.
It makes it
That's
very
right.
difficult.
And the best part about it is, you know, now we have an elevator and we have a ramp and those things. We're able to, everybody's able to come and participate in
handicapped
any
accessible, right.
of the programs. And in the past, we weren't able to host.
You see
know.
increased participation, handicap participation?
We will see that because I do have a lot of ideas for
Good.
like a wheelchair basketball.
Ooh.
You know, those things that I can
that's a great
incorporate
idea.
now that we have the facility and the means to get them in there.
Wow,
good.
that's a great idea. Wheelchair basketball.
Do you have a wish list? for
Yeah, it's
things-
about 6 miles long.
I was going to say, you know, 99% of the renovations were really to bring the building up to code. And the remaining 1%, I think, is giving you the new basketball facility and things like that. But is there a wish list for things beyond that you're going to start looking at?
Yeah, you know, we're gonna need new furniture, just to, you know, fill the place up. You know, like, it's really like the softer cost type of thing that we're gonna need. You know, we're working with Lowe's right now, and they're thinking of putting in a kitchen for us.
Oh, wow, that'd be great, huh?
So, yeah, so, you know, we've walked through the plans and you know, and the putting it together. Now we have it on paper, and it looks great. You know, we just cross our finger and hope that
A small
it can be
kitchen
done.
upstairs.
Yes, directly next to the gym. So it would be the gym, the kitchen, and then kind of a lounge area.
Yeah, but it won't be a big kitchen. It's just
No,
small.
it
It's
won't.
just
It won't be. It will be. It'll be big. It'll be big enough to help
Feed.
teach and feed the kids.